Welcome back to Ironsworn, Rime of the Frostmaiden. This is episode 3. Last session, Karl finished the vow to find his friend Half, but in the process had to swear another vow to destroy and defeat the white moose that's been hassling the foresters around Lonelywood. And then when he swore that vow, he got a miss, and so then had to be waylaid on his journey before he could even get out of town. Was asked by Danae Zotel, who's the barkeep at the local tavern, to try to find some boys who went into the old Ramshackle, which is the inn that used to be open in town, but the patron of the inn, de Groots, apparently killed himself in the Ramshackle. So people think it's haunted, and these boys went in on a lark apparently, and Danae asked if Karl would look into it. So he's crept throughout the inn. He found a couple of pairs of boys' tracks that were leading into it, so that's promising. Also some evidence of rats infesting the Ramshackle. He looked on the first floor in the upstairs, didn't find anything, and now he is entering the basement. As he enters the basement, he's a little bit creeped out, but otherwise okay. He calls out for the boys, doesn't hear anything, so he is going to go ahead and creep down the stairs. So once he gets down in the basement, what does he find? We haven't used this yet, so the Oracle can give some prompts to serve as inspiration for what your character might encounter. And if you don't like them, or if they don't make sense, like this, guard honor, and it doesn't really make sense for basement, I'm gonna reroll. Weaken, renown, weaken, I like weaken balance. So maybe the root cellar here, there's a potential for a fall in of the roof above. So as Karl's looking around, he needs to first of all find out where the boys are. They've got to be down here. He knows they're in the building. This is the last place to look. So he's going to gather some information here, looking around, just using his eyeballs, just kind of trying to figure out where they've gone. So that is a weak hit. Get some information, but the information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. Perfect. So I think that the boys are down here. He's found them. So we're going to go ahead and mark progress on that tracker. But they had some of the supports fall down on them when they were kind of in here searching and knocked them unconscious. They're in the corner of the basement, which is very unstable now. So Karl has to go and try to extract the boys from this rubble without causing any more structural damage and bringing the whole thing down on top of him. So this is going to be a face danger. I think this is going to require some degree of agility. Can he secure an advantage? I think he's going to try to secure an advantage. I think he's going to take his time to look around and figure out, like, where are the support beams, which ones have suffered the most wood rot, etc. So he's going to try to secure an advantage. Okay, a weak hit. Your advantage is short-lived, take +1 momentum. Okay, so he's got some idea of what the bad bits of wood are, but not a lot. So he's just got to try to pull these boys out. On a weak hit, you succeed, but face a troubling cost. So as he's pulling the boys out, some of the roof collapses and clips him, causing some damage. So he got clipped trying to pull the boys out. He did pull them out, took some damage. He's a little bit weakened from this, but they're out and free. So now he's going to assess them. So are the boys alive? I'm going to say likely. Let's see what the Oracle has to say. The Oracle says no. Oh, that's dark. So these boys crept down here, went into the basement, disturbed some of the structure. It collapsed on them. I don't know if they died then or if they died later on from their injuries, but he pulls the boys out, and they're just bodies. Life is rough in Icewind Dale. He's going to carry them out, and I think I'm just going to do this as a use his strength to haul these boys' bodies up out of the It's a miss with a match, which means that is a particularly bad thing. So I think that as he is trying to throw these two boys on his shoulders and stumble up the stairs, he hits a stair that is rotted, falls down, and the nest of rats that lives below the stairs swarms out and begins to bite on him. So this is going to be enter the fray. I think he's basically ambushed, so we're going to roll wits on this. That is a weak hit. I am going to take initiative. So this is swarm of rats. I think on my weak hit, I'll take the initiative, and he puts because he put the boys down. He's holding them on the shoulders. I don't know if he wants to expose them to the rats. So I think he tries like having one hand to hold the two of them and take his axe out and whack the rats away as best he can. So he's going to do a strike here with his axe, rolling iron. That is a weak hit, inflict your harm, and lose initiative. So he's trying his best. He hits a few of the rats and they get pulped, but then they come back and try to swarm him. So they are going to clash. This is another iron roll. This is another weak hit. So I get to inflict my harm, which is great, but then I have to pay the price. I think that they're just going to nibble on him. So that's going to reduce his health, and then we're going to roll. Oh my God. Another miss on endure harm, losing momentum, just being overtaken by these rats, but he's beaten down a bunch of them. They're bloodied, they're squashed. So he is going to turn the tide, starting to stomp with his boots, and then try to end the fight. And that gives us a strong hit. Fantastic. So he beats off all the rats and escapes from the basement with the boys. So he escapes from the basement. I'm going to mark progress for that. He's got the boys, their bodies at least. He goes back to Danae and gives their bodies into her care, tells her what happened, and yeah, it's a sad day here in Lonelywood. But that's how life is in Icewind Dale. So hopefully that fulfills his vow. Let's roll and see. That is a weak hit. There is more to be done, or you realize the truth of your quest. Okay, mark experience. So it was just a troublesome quest, so I don't get experience for that. Right? Yeah, just troublesome quest. So I don't get any experience for that. So, but he's at least completed that quest. There's more to be done. So the ramshackle is a dangerous building at this point, and it needs to be dealt with. Is it actually haunted? Let's ask the Oracle. Is the ramshackle really haunted? I'm going to go 50-50 on this. Is the ramshackle haunted? No. Okay, so it's not actually inhabited by a ghost. It just has the little pack of rats that Karl encountered already. So, but it's obviously a public danger. We could try to board up the place. We could burn it down, I suppose, but that seems awfully wasteful of resources in this resource poor area. It would be nice to kind of try to fix it up and bring it back online. But Karl's not an innkeeper. He's raised as a forester. He's a guy that goes out in the forest, and he's just a kid. So I don't think that it occurs to him as like, oh, I can open up an inn. But I think that he sees these two boys that have been killed gallivanting around and realizing that something needs to be done about the ramshackle. So let's go. I'm not having any inspiration. Let's see what our prompt might be. Surrender death. I don't think that's very helpful. There we go. Break fear. Okay. So people are afraid of the ramshackle. The kids in the town like dare each other to go into it, etc. So we need to convince the townsfolk that the ramshackle needs to be rehabilitated. That's it. We need to get everybody on board with this plan, that they need to get the ramshackle rehabilitated, get a tavern up and running so that the townsfolk can be free of that fear. So we're going to swear a vow to do that. He's not going to do that right now because he swore a vow to defeat the White Moose. He was just briefly waylaid by this thing to go deal with the ramshackle. But he's going to promise to Danae and anybody else that's in the tavern, the Lucky Liar, that he is going to help the town to rally around rebuilding the ramshackle. So we're going to swear an iron vow here. This is going to be Heart, and he has a bond with the town, so that will help a little bit. Heart is not his strong suit. So on a weak hit, you're determined to begin your quest with more questions than answers. That is not surprising at all. I have no idea how we're going to get people on board with the idea of taking this tavern back over and reviving it. But regardless, we got to press on. We have got to get into the woods and defeat the white moose. So I think as the first part of that, we're going to undertake a journey. All right, on a strong hit. So I'm going to go ahead and say that gives us some progress. So we go out into the forest. We're trying to find the tracks of this moose, and we at least get our way into the woods a bit without encountering any major problems. So now let's see if we can gather information, looking around, using our woods lore to find some tracks. Oh, it's a miss, and I can't burn momentum. So your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth. Well, fortunately, in the Rime and the Frostmaiden book, they more or less anticipate that you don't successfully find the white moose on the first go. So there's a bunch of forest encounters, which they propose here with a 1d20. So we can roll a d100 and divide by 5. 81, so that's basically 19 and 20. That is a wolf pack. A pack of 1d4 plus 4 wolves descends upon the party. If 3 or more wolves are killed, the surviving wolves flee. So Karl is trying to track this white moose. He's looking around for the tracks. He's not seeing anything. And a pack of wolves descend on him. And I think that they are ambushing him because he's distracted. He's just looking around for tracks. Oh, that's bad. It's a miss, and it's doubles. So combat begins with an advantage. Pay the price. Let's look at pay the price. What is pay the price going to tell us to do? So make the most obvious negative outcome happen. Well, he just got jumped by a bunch of wolves. I think we're going to try to roll randomly and see what this says. So 33 is the result. That is the current situation worsens. He's already injured. He's out in the forest. A bunch of wolves attack him. So I think that I was going to have the combat just be a relatively routine, troublesome one. But I think that the wolves are more numerous. And so this is going to be a dangerous battle. He starts off on a bit of a bad foot. The wolves move in. And we're going to roll Clash with Iron because they're getting in. Ooh, that gives us a strong hit. Fantastic. Inflict your harm. And we are going to take the initiative. That is a miss on a Clash. Your attack fails and you must pay the price. Your foe has initiative. I think the most obvious thing is that they're just gonna beat him up. So he takes some damage and he has to endure harm. Great. He takes the harm and soldiers on. The wolves are on the offensive. They are going to move in and work on Karl here. He gets a strong hit though, which is great. So he inflicts his harm. I'm going to go ahead and take that additional harm, which bumps us up to almost a full bar. And now we're going to end the fight. Had full boxes, but still only got a weak hit. Foe is no longer in the fight. So he's at least killed 3 of these wolves. The rest of the pack runs off, but you must also choose one. It's worse than you thought. Endure harm. Okay, I think the victory is short-lived. I think that these wolves scatter, but I think that the fight maybe attracted some other foe. So Karl is hurt. He's in the woods. He just finished beating off this pack of wolves. I think he's got to try to heal himself a little bit. How about secure an advantage? I think I'm going to try to secure an advantage by exploring the woods a little bit, trying to find some herbs maybe that would be helpful to heal up here. using my wits for exploration. Ooh, great. Strong hit. That gives me 2 momentum. And that'll give me a plus on my next roll, which is going to be to heal because I am hurt. So since I'm healing myself, I need to use iron because that's lower. Even though I found some herbs, I think using bandages and sticks and whatnot to kind of make some splints is burning up some of my resources. So I know that I want to get going, but I also know that I need to take care of myself a little bit here. Karl's in the woods. He's running out of supplies. He's still kind of hurt. His spirit's a little bit low. I think he's going to try to resupply, do a little bit of hunting, do a little more gathering, try to bolster himself because he knows just facing off against this white moose in his current state is probably going to end in tragedy. So let's try to resupply here. Roll wits. Oh, God. That's a miss. I could burn momentum to get a weak hit. I think I got to do that. I think I'm going to burn my momentum to at least get a weak hit because I'm already digging a hole and I don't want to go down any further. So you can take up to 2 supply, but -1 momentum for each. So he's having a hard time here resupplying, doing his best, but just really struggling. I think he's going to try to resupply some more. I think he's got to keep working at this, and it's a miss with a match. So that's a pay the price with really badness happening. So let's roll and see what we get for pay the price is 0.9. A person or community you care about is exposed to danger. So what if while he is like monkeying around in the forest, trying to resupply, trying to get himself in a better situation to face off with this white moose, the white moose has no idea and is basically ignoring Karl, and it is going and actually attacking a bunch of loggers. So we're going to say that the white moose is attacking a bunch of loggers, and do some of those loggers get heavily injured? I'm going to say it's likely. We'll ask the oracle. Do some of the loggers get heavily injured? No. Okay, great. So the white moose attacks them, but the loggers scamper off. Karl has no idea this is happening. When he gets back to town, he'll figure it out. But at least for right now, he is going to, I think he's going to try to secure an advantage. He's realized that at least right now where he is in the forest, there aren't a lot of supplies. I think he's got to try to maybe scamper up a tree and have a look around, survey the area, try to get a better sense of where he's at. So he's going to try to secure an advantage with his wild boy skill here. So we get a weak hit. All right, that was better than nothing. Take +1 momentum. But short-lived advantage. I think that he's just having a hard time. I mean, it makes sense. It's Rime and the Frostmaiden. The winter's been going on for a year now, so there's just not a lot of stuff out here. But I think he's going to try to resupply because he really needs to camp. And without good supplies, trying to camp is going to be really rough on him. So let's try to resupply, and that's a strong hit. Fantastic. Take +2 supply. All right, now he's going to settle down and make camp. He's got to rest up a little bit. So we're going to roll supply, and that gives us a strong hit with it doubles. Hey, okay. On a strong hit, you can choose 2. So we're going to heal up a little bit here. We're going to bolster our spirit. And what do the doubles get us? If no inspiration comes, you can always ask the oracle. What do the doubles get us? Control death. I like the control prompt. Let's see. Control wound. Oh, that's great. We could definitely use that because we're still injured. So I think that suggests that we're going to have time to do some more healing here. So let's try to heal up a bit more. That's going to be a miss. My 8 is ineffective. Pay the price. Well, that was supposed to be a good thing. I got a double. It's harmful. Okay, great. So he tries to heal himself up, but actually further injures himself trying to bind his wounds on his own. Karl's having a rough time of it. Well, he's camped. he's rested a little bit. He had healed up, but then tried to heal himself some more. And maybe he came across like a nice stream to drink up, and it was actually contaminated. And so he kind of got sick and basically got his health back down to where it was. So I got to try to secure an advantage again. I've got this woods lore. I'm pretty smart. I should be able to do this. There we go. That's a strong hit. Exciting. So we'll take +2 momentum, and we'll take a +1. And then we're going to take another +1 because we're using Wayfinder to undertake a journey to continue to search out this white moose. That's great. That's a strong hit. He finds a waypoint. So I think at this point he got back on track. He's gotten his supply back up. He's rested a little bit more. He's cleared his head. So he's making his way through the forest. He's got some idea of where the white moose is. He's got to try to find the tracks now. That is also a strong hit. Excellent. He finds the tracks of the white moose. So he's able to follow them, and he tracks it. I think probably tracks it back to the tomb, because that's kind of its lair. That's where it goes back to. Now, the last time he was here, the white moose wasn't in its little burrow area, but I think this time it will be. Let's ask the Oracle. Is the white moose in the burrow area? Yes. Okay. Well, that's what Karl is suspecting. So now maybe he can lay a bit of an ambush for it. So he's going to try to secure an advantage here and get to an area where he can maybe pepper it with arrows before it closes with him. So this is going to be cleverness, and also using his wood sense to get a sense of where everything is. Okay, on a weak hit, short-lived, take 1 momentum. Okay, that's fine. He gets some idea of where to hide and calls out to the white moose to come out. And the white moose emerges, and he is going to try to get a drop on it. So this is going to be shadow, trying to use stealth, etc. All right, so this is just a simple enter the fray using shadow, not my strong suit. So unsurprising miss. All right, well, that figures. Begins with me at a disadvantage. So I think that Karl was setting up into the trees, planning to ambush this moose, and the moose knows the elven tomb and basically charges him and tramples him. I planned to set up an ambush, and my ambush is spoiled, so the moose is able to close in and clash with me. That's a weak hit, which is okay. I inflict some harm. I think the white moose is probably a dangerous enemy. And, you know, realistically, Rime of the Frostmaiden, since it's a D&D adventure, it's designed for, you know, first level play at this point. So I'm going to try to scale the challenges more or less accordingly. So I think the white moose, at least, I think that if he wins this fight, I'm going to say the white moose isn't killed, but it's driven out of the area, which is functionally what he needs to accomplish. Because a moose is pretty big, you know, in D&D terms, has a lot of hit points, hard to kill. So on a clash, he injured it, but pay the price. I think he's going to take the injury from trying to ambush this moose, but failing to do so. He gets a strong hit on his endure harm, which is good. He gets a little bit of momentum from that. He did inflict some wounds on the moose, and it's going to clash again. It's going to roll its antlers at him, trying to gore him and crush him. That's another weak hit. I get to take my harm that I suffer, but I have endured harm. All right, the moose is going to try to trample me again. I can't do anything. I've just got my axe trying to keep this thing fending off against it. Oh, good. That is a strong hit, and I have the initiative now. I am going to try to end the fight. Also a strong hit. Fantastic. Your foe is no longer in the fight. So like I said, I think I have heavily injured the moose. It limps off. I'm in no mood to try to chase it down and kill it because I am awfully injured as well. But hopefully it is now at least driven off, and the town of Lonelywood will be relieved for a while. Now, what Karl does not know is that the white moose, in fact, has a master, and it's going to make some more problems for us here in a little bit. So we defeated the white moose. I think we'll mark that. I think we'll mark 2 ticks for that, because that was the major thing. And now he's got to rest up. He is going to camp here in this little elven glade. He figures, he's never found this place before, so hopefully it's relatively safe to set up camp. I don't think he's going to set up in the burrow where all the animals are. I think he's just going to be out here in the moon dial area where it's a little bit melted at least. So set up camp. So he's rested here for a while, I would say, maybe even a couple of days, working on the supplies that he got from his resupply, and probably, exploring this area a little bit more. Again, he's not super interested in tomb robbing, but he is kind of curious about the sarcophagus that are here and these strange crystal pillars, especially they have these images with a twig, a pine cone, a flame, a feather, and a humanoid hand. So I think while he's making camp here, he's probably kind of bored. He's going to go ahead and gather these 5 objects and toss them into the brazier. And that activates the brazier. The brazier comes to life. I'm not sure that he expected anything to do. He was just sort of bored and thought, there are these symbols. I'm going to play with this for a little bit. This is part of the adventure of the Rime of Frostmaiden, so I just wanted to reveal this section a little bit. And the heavy lid of the sarcophagus can be pushed or opened. No, I don't think we're going to do that. We got the little brazier lit here. That's probably close to where he's making camp, because it stays lit and warm when he feeds it with these 5 items. So he rests up for a bit, bolsters himself, and heads back to town. I'm just going to do that as a single undertake a journey roll. He's got his wayfinder bonus. Weak hit. Okay, he makes it back. Great. I'm going to mark that as progress, but he uses up some of his supply. Not terribly surprising. He doesn't have any evidence that he defeated the moose, now that I think about it. Like, he doesn't have an antler or any trophy to show. So he's going to go back to the speaker, Nimsy Huddle, who's also Half's adoptive mom. I'm gonna go back to Nimsy. First of all, check on Half. How is Half doing? Is Half doing okay? We'll check with the Oracle. I'd say 50-50 on this. Is Half doing okay? Ooh, no, Half is not doing okay. He's still struggling with his injuries. He's just taking a long time to recover. Maybe he has a broken bone that's not mending well. There's no healing magic in my conceit of Rime of the Frostmaiden because of the Ironsworn kind of low magic rules. So he's struggling. Well, that's unfortunate. But I wonder if this could give me an opportunity to maybe try to heal him, and that might get me a little bit more of a bond with Nimsy and might facilitate my fulfilling this vow. So let's try to do that. Let's see healing. Ooh, good, strong hit, fantastic. So I was healing him, not me, so that'll give him some health. And I think Nimsy is very appreciative, so let's see if we can forge a bond with her. I've not fulfilled my vow. This is just me trying to help her son and hopefully make her positively disposed towards me so that she believes that I actually killed the white moose. So first of all, let's see if we can form a bond with Nimsy. That's a strong hit. Fantastic. +2 momentum. I will take that. And we make note of our bond. So let's add it here, Nimsy. So now I want to try to convince her that I actually killed the white moose. This is going to be a compel. Dale, do what you want. So I think that she believes, I think she more or less believes that the white moose is driven off / dead. I think that she asks her for something in return. I think that she's going to want a little more proof or some proof. She has no proof besides his word, which, it's fine, but he's a teenage kid. So who knows? I think she's going to need a little bit more proof. So I think once again, Karl is going to go out into the woods, try to find this white moose, and maybe he's just got to kill it. He's just got to kill the white moose. So I'm going to say he did not make any progress on the defeat the white moose. Well, he got a weak hit, so he didn't get a loss. So, okay, I'll take that as some progress. So he's got to go back out into the forest, got to actually face the white moose, and I guess we got to kill it. It's fine. We'll kill it. He's had a little bit of rest now. He's got this bond with Nimsy. He's feeling better. He's going to go out into the forest and do his best to finally finish off this white moose. Thanks for joining. Hopefully, we'll see how he goes with the white moose adventure.